Greetings YouTube, Fuzzfinger here and welcome back to Legion, and today we're going to be going for another secret mount. This is actually a slightly older one, having been introduced in 7.2 and discovered back in April of this year. But since I'm on a bit of a buzz after discovering the Lucid Nightmare, and I don't actually have the next mount, or the previous mount if you like, the Riddler's Mindworm, I thought we'd go ahead and grab that today. So if you need this mount, come and join me. And if you enjoy watching this episode, don't forget to hit the like button, and let's get started with today's show. Right, so the good news is with the Riddler's Mindworm is it's technically a lot easier to get than the Lucid Nightmare, because even though we have to traverse over the world and go to various locations, we don't have to solve any puzzles. We literally just need to know where to go, and that's what I'm going to show you in this episode, and hopefully we'll get it all done in one video as well, to save splitting it across different parts like we needed to with the Lucid Nightmare, because the community were discovering that live at the time, so we couldn't get it all done at once. But hopefully with this mount that shouldn't be a problem. So first of all, you're going to want to head over to Dalaran in order to start this secret hunt off, and you want to come to the Leisure Domain Lounge, and that's located just here, okay, around the 4637 mark. And if you head just inside on the ground floor, then you'll find this page 9 item on this first bookcase. It's by itself. Just click that, you'll read it, and you'll get this of Sea, Spirit and Self. Now obviously that's the next clue, and there's going to be 8 pages in all, so don't worry about the fact it says page 9. A lot of these pages are going to have random numbers, so we're going to head over to the next area next, and I'll show you where that is. Right, so for our next destination then, you want to make your way over to Duskwood, and when you're in Duskwood you want to head over to the Twilight Grove. The actual coordinates are going to be 4933. So we're going to be heading down to this Moonwell area here, and just on the table actually, you can see page 78. So we'll go ahead and select that. You do have to get these in order, okay? First of Lords to Fall, or you won't be able to interact with them if you don't do them in the correct order. Right, for the next page we need to head into Hyjal, and we're actually going to fly down to the Firelands, and we need to actually head to the room with Ragnaros in order to go ahead and loot the next page. So I'll see you there. Right, so here we are at the Firelands, and you just want it on the easiest difficulty. You can do it on any difficulty, and you can probably solo any difficulty at level 110, but for the sake of speed I'm just going to stick it on 10 normal, so that we can just whiz through this. And you don't even have to kill all the bosses either. A lot of people don't realise that because we're not going to be going for an instance clear, that's not what we're here for. We're just going to race straight down to the boss a little bit further up here. And there's a little trick we can do. How do we not aggro that guy? A little trick we can do to get into Rag's room, which is where the page is found, without having to clear all the bosses around first. So the plan is just make your way straight down to Alice Razor's area, which is just over here. And we're going to start this boss fight, because the little trick we can do involves the feathers that spawn and help us to fly. So we just have to get through the dialogue here. Yada 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 yada. So of course you don't have to do it this way. If you want to grab some achievements and stuff while you're here, then you can stick it on a higher difficulty or whatever and go around the instance as you normally would. It doesn't actually take very long at maximum level. Right, so here comes the boss. Now we should be getting some feathers soon. I don't want to one-shot this boss, because obviously then it's going to mess things up for us. So I want to be just a little bit careful here. Right, there's the feathers. So we'll just grab a couple of these. And so we'll grab 3. And there we go. And now what we want to do is just fly over to Rag's room basically. And you can actually do this even though the bridge hasn't been built. And it should, I don't know what it does to the boss fight actually, whether it resets it or not, but we can probably just kill it if it comes over with us. That's it, we just make our way over to this platform. And we're here. So we can skip the whole dungeon. And I'll show you now where to get the page to see what the boss is doing, but we can ignore it anyway. It doesn't even matter if we're in combat. So how about that then, guys? Nice little trick for you. So Rag himself won't spawn, which is absolutely fine. We don't need him. By the way, if you have killed Ragnaros during the week, you can enter your same raid and won't have to worry about any of the enemies. You can just come straight here. And just at this final fire brazier, we can see the page 161, which is the reason for us being here. And there we go, we're literally done with that. And pretty much we're done with the Firelands, so let's move on to the next area, which is actually down south of Kalimdor. Right, so once you've made your way to the beautiful zone of Uldum, and I just ported from the faction capital of Stormwind straight here, then you're going to fly down south and you're going to go to the eastern side of the lost city of the Talvir, and around about here you're going to find a couple of small trees, and the location is 7078 according to my TomTom, and you'll find the page 655 just in between those two small trees. So we'll go ahead and read that. The plume, the tomb, a scarab moon. And there we have our next page done and added to the list, and we're going to move on. So the next place we need to go to is another raid instance, and it's the Siege of Orgrimmar. So in order to reach the Siege of Orgrimmar, we want to head over to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. There's a portal from Dalaran in the Broken Isles, which will take you right here, and it's for the Alliance anyway, with the other faction capital city, so I assume it's the same with the Horde as well. And from in the Vale, you want to head over to Mogashon Palace, I believe it's called, and you have this giant white flame. The white flame here, you want to head down here, right to the bottom, and you'll see a doorway, and you can actually enter the instance from underneath at this point. Again, you're probably going to want to set it to the lowest difficulty so that you can go ahead and blitz through this instance. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than Firelands because this does come from Mr. Pandaria, and I believe the buff of damage that you do to lower level enemies has been reduced significantly for Mr. Pandaria stuff over and above what it was for Cataclysm, and we're going to need to keep moving ahead now. Immersius has been nerfed so that you can solo him quite easily in patch 7.3, and we're going to make our way over to the Shard of Pride. And thank you, Zero, for the subscription. So let's move ahead. You want to enter the room, then just make your way through to the room with the Shard of Pride. So just defeat the Notion encounter where you have to defeat the amalgamation of whatever it's called in there. That's just a tank and spank. Make your way into Shard of Pride, and then you want to come to this section where I am in the southwestern corner. And this little nook here, it can be hard to see, but there is the next page waiting. It's page 845. So we'll go ahead and read that as you'd expect. In snow, sand and stone is the text that we get. The clue to the next location, if you like. So we'll be heading over there now. You can defeat whatever encounters you want to do while you're in here after reading that, but just make sure you read that, obviously, because that is what we're here for, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to be heading into the Caverns of Time. So again, portal over to Uldum, using the Cataclysm portals in your faction's capital, in the Alliance case Stormwind, of course, and I'm just going to fly over to Bootlegger Outpost, which is probably the closest, I'd imagine, to Caverns of Time. There we go. So we're going to be heading into the Well of Eternity in the Caverns of Time, which is a 5-player dungeon from Cataclysm, I believe, and so we should be able to get through there quite quickly and to the next page. Rightio, so the Well of Eternity dungeon is located just in this section of the Caverns of Time. Fortunately, everything is labelled, all the different instances that you can come into, so just make your way through. And again, I don't expect that you're going to find this too much of a challenge, at least I hope not. So we might just have to kill a boss or two before we can actually go ahead and find the page in question.
I see you've arrived.
So it's going to be located around this bit here. So it looks like we will have to clear our way there, so I'll see you in a moment or two. Eventually then, guys, you'll make your way here, so you just have to go through the instance pretty much, and it is a story-driven instance, so you do have to watch a few cutscenes and what have you, but it is all fairly linear. And once you've done the encounter where you distract Queen Ashara, you'll just hop onto a Drake, have another cutscene, and then you'll land pretty much in this area. And you want to come to this specific point, just to the side of the Maelstrom, and you can see the item that we need, the page that we need. 1127 is just on the first step here. They can be difficult to see when they're not highlighted, but obviously it is there. Behold the battle unblinking. So as long as you read it, then it's been triggered on your character and the next one will become available. So you can either clear the instance or portal straight out at this point, and we'll move on to the next area. Right, so we need to come to the Shado-Pan Monastery, but fortunately we don't actually need to go into the dungeon. So our dungeon coming in 2 days are over for this particular secret mount quest, you'll be pleased to know. And what we're going to do is just come over to this location then where I am, around about 3451 if you've got coordinates, but you can see where on the map. And you'll see these 2 tiger statues. We're going to head down to the one on the left, and yet you can see the page 2351 just in between the feet of the statue. Bejeweled Watcher. Oh, Bejeweled. A bit like the puzzle that we had to do for the patch 7.3 secret mount, wasn't it? Yes. Don't worry, there's nothing like that on this one. Alright then, guys. So we're very, very close to being finished here now. We're just going to move on to the next area. Right, okay, so we're actually on the final page that we need to find now, and then we can go to the location where the mount itself can be looted. Yay. So back to Uldum, I'm afraid. Yes, there's quite a bit of backtracking, but as I said earlier, you do have to do this in the order of the pages, so you can't do all of the Uldum ones, for example, in one go. You have to do them in the order I've shown you. And once you're in Uldum, you're going to head over to this location here, which is 7640 5360, and it should bring us to the statue. There it is, look. So this statue here, we've got the stairs, and it's the very first statue on the left of the set of 4 that are in a line. And there's the final page. 5555. Ray of Sunrise. Ah, fantastic stuff. So that's the absolutely last page we need to find, which means next up we can go to the mount, and we need to head over to do that to Westfall. See you there. Alright then, guys, so over on the longshore here at Westfall, which is the west coast of Westfall, just to the south of this protruding section on the map of the shallow water, you'll come down to this capsized boat, and lo and behold, we have a nice shiny purple chest, the gift of the Mind Seekers. And there we have it, the Riddler's Mindworm. We've got it. It's done. Let's go and have a look at this bad boy, shall we? Mounts, Riddlers. Okay, in my opinion, it's not the best looking mount in the game, although it's certainly unique. So I'll give it that. So after all your hard work of traversing through the landscape of Azeroth and, yeah, just Azeroth, we didn't go to Outland or anything, did we? We have it. So this is the Riddler's Mindworm mount. It's a flying mount, unlike the Lucid Nightmare, which we collected in the last series. So you can actually whiz around on this in the air, whoop-de-doo-dah. But guys, I hope this video has been helpful to you. Big credit and thank you to the guys over at the Secret WoW Discord server for finding this back in the day. Back in April time this was discovered, as I said at the start. So I'm looking forward to the next patch, whenever, however that reaches us. 7.4 or 8.1 or whatever it's going to be, 8.0. And no doubt this seems to be setting a trend. Blizzard have set a trend that there'll be another secret mount appearing in that patch. I certainly look forward to that, and I'll be sharing it with you when it does appear. So thanks for stopping by today, guys. Don't forget to support me by hitting the like button and being subscribed to the FuzzfingerGaming YouTube channel, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.